Hello, I have just watched a video on YouTube with Katie Hopkins and Sonia Holton, and this was over Harry picking your daughter or son's friends, and I have some thoughts on this actually. One, I know that when I have a child and he or she goes to school, that he or she is going to be mixing with lots of different people, but at the same time, you have to educate them. You have to educate your kids as what is good and what is bad. So if I see a kid swearing in the playground, if I would just go to school and see that happening, I'd be like, yeah, you might want to avoid them as much as you can. You know, of course, they are at school, they all need to come into contact with each other, so I do understand that. But in my head, my standards are, well, no swearing or bad language, and also be kind with your words. Apologise when you are in the wrong. You know, it's all this type of thing that I tend to live by. Is I would actually encourage my kids to do the exact same thing. The only time I would ever have a problem is if my son or daughter comes home and the teacher calls me up and says that I've actually been a bully to a kid. I go absolutely mad. But one thing I would say is this, that it's okay to stand up for yourself, and it's okay to hit them if they hit you, but do not hang around with other people as much who tend to pick on people in the school. I'd hate for my son or daughter to be, you know, if I'm in town and a young mother comes up to me and said, your kid was bullying so and so, I go absolutely mad at the person. Say, well, my kid would never do that, because I would make sure that my kids would never turn out to be bullies. Never. But that aside, I well, yeah, because if you think about it, if the last thing you want your kids to do is hang around with all the wrong people, because the wrong people will get them into trouble, and I suppose as a mom or as a dad, the last thing you want is your kid to be in trouble. In my head, okay, I have a vision of what I would like my kids to be once they go to school. I would like them to be respectful of teachers. I would not want them to turn out to be bullies. And if a kid in class was disruptive and all this, I I I would actually be upset, yes, because I know what it is like to concentrate at school and people behind you are whittling away and you're like, oh damn, I would have got that, but they're right in my ear. And it happened for me. Like if I'm at school and I used to be at school and I was listening to the teacher and I had to put things down, and if kids were talking behind me, they were disrupting me. But it doesn't mean that I turn around and talk to them. If I ever did, I would say shut up. But if I said that, then I would get in trouble by a teacher. And especially when I was younger, I had a speech problem, and my speech was nowhere near as fast as all the other kids, so they could put the blame on me a lot. But this isn't about me. This is me thinking ahead as to what the sorts of people that I'd want my son or daughter to hang around with. I think because it's a school and they've all got to come into contact with each other, but at the end of the day, if they want to invite another person over, the only thing I would say is they haven't got to be a bully. I hate bullying. I mean, I have suffered as a kid of myself with bullying. Anyway, if like say I don't know, I went to the fish and chip shop, which I do, I'm a real person. Okay, I can go to the fish and chip shop. I can go to a nice restaurant. I can go anywhere I want. I'm not a complete snob. I'm sorry. I'm not a complete snob. I would go in the fish and chip shop. But say if my son or daughter and I was in there and there was a person in there that was in a great big onesie, I think I'd be like, yeah, just look the other direction. But which was interesting is the comment Katie made, the sort of conversation that she would have with her daughter, and if her daughter said, "What's that woman doing in a onesie?" Katie said, "Because she can't be asked to get rest today." And I actually thought, good on them, because even as a kid, you pick up on things all the time. And I remember this was something that happened to me when I was young. Now, okay, so I was a young girl. I was with my mom and Nan, and we went to a shop. And I just looked up, and there was this man walking past with long hair and a bunchy and back. And I'm like, why's that man got a bunchy in his hair? And everyone was like, oh, shut up, shut up, shut up. She can't say things like that. But to me, that was a question. I was like, you know, and if my daughter or whatever had that conversation with he, I'd say, because that's what he wants to do. That's what they want to do. But that's it. That's it. That's all I would say. I mean, I would have to be really angry in general to turn around and say, well, because that person doesn't care. That person can't be asked to get rest. But these days, pardon me, because I'm a cashier, I see lots of kids, even grown kids, in the shopping trolleys. And I know if my son or daughter said, "Can I go in there?" I'm like, "No, you'll stand next to me." And they are doing it. Wow, they don't care if their kid falls out. You know, I mean, I'd actually, that would be the only time I would get het up and angry, if my kids would compare to different kids. I'll say, well, I don't care. You're not doing that. They don't care if their kid falls out. My kids, past a certain age, would not go in the shopping trolley. So that, to me, is just wrong. But there are some points that I agree with Sonia, and yeah, you can't necessarily pick your kids' friends at school. You can turn around and actually say, I'd watch him, I'd watch her, and I'd say, careful around him. He doesn't seem nice to me. You know, I mean, I would like educate them to try and put them on a right path. But this is life, and your kids and when I have kids, they are going to come in contact with lots of different people, and I think you have to learn how to tolerate people, and it does not mean going into a temper or, you know, hitting out. I do not agree with hitting out at all, or I know in my experience at school that I wish I had have hit out at times, you know, because as a kid you get away with it, but once you get on and you get past a certain age, you can actually get arrested. So, you know, what would break my heart is if my kid would come home in tears because somebody's hurt them or hit them or they have a cut. No, that would make me angry and break my heart at the same time. And I'm sorry, although I hate violence, I would actually encourage my kids to stand up. If they're actually being hit, you hit back. I mean, kids are cruel. I mean, I was it last year or a couple of years back? Because I'm a cashier, I need to have a break at times, and okay, what I'm trying to say is this. I went to order a donut because I needed a bit of sugar in me for a little bit of me up. And I don't know why, but I was tired and I wasn't with it, and I was at the bakery and I said, can I have a donut or something? I'm thinking, shit, I shouldn't have said that, you know. But the next thing I hear is this kid taking the mic, and he's how old is he? He's 7 or 8, and he's down here and I'm up here. I'm thinking, I would never do that at that age. I would never turn around and do anything to someone twice my height. Ooh, excuse me. But kids do. They are cruel. But the mom next to him was like, she was shocked. I could see she was really shocked. And she said, apologise. You apologise right now. And he apologised. But I don't think he meant it. And then I felt awkward. This lady felt awkward, but at least she was trying to correct her son's behaviour. I mean, I do have a speech problem and I know it needs work on, but that was a kid talking to me when I was, what, 29? Sorry. But it's crazy. It's absolutely madness. I suppose that I am a little judgmental. I'm not as judgmental as other people I know, but I know one thing is that in my head, I've always been thought of as well behaved and well liked. And I don't know, when I went to school, I went to school with the idea that the people at school are potential friends for me to hang around with, okay? And my mum, she never cherry picked and this is something that I want to say as well, which is thinking go to school, hang around with people. That's it. At times I have actually brought home the sorts of people that I think my mum would approve of, and I know the sorts of people my mum would approve of as well. There was this friend of mine, Kevin, and he was lovely. He was really lovely, and he was talking to a friend that I knew, and he would give out good advice. He was really nice, and he okay, this is what happened. Okay, we picked Kevin up, which was Ad and me, and Kevin was in the back of a car, and he had a phone call, and he answered it, and he was not talking at first, he was listening, and what happened was he said, "No, just calm down, okay? Your parents are the most important people in your life. You need to work it out." I'm thinking, yes, come on, Kevin, come on, because I'm thinking, in my head, that with my mum and dad, this is the sort of person I'd want to invite over to the house, because I